Nasty here. How you doing? So I wanted to show you my thought process behind this really great jam track. What we have going on here is we have an E minor 9 being played with an A13 chord. And oftentimes when we play in these kind of situations, we just want to show you how we can get outside of the pentatonic and use other scales. In this case, we're going to use E Dorian as the first example that we could play over this, as well as some E minor pentatonic and maybe some others as well. But we're going to start with E Dorian first. I'm going to show you some good examples and kind of my thought process behind playing against this track, so that way you can just get outside of the box and try some different things that are not just straight pentatonic all the time. I'll show you some scale shapes that we could use, the ones that I think of when I'm playing over this. And immediately when we get done with this, what I would think would be a great thing to do is just click on the next track, because you're going to have the same chords to play to yourself. Here we go. The first shape that I'm going to show you looks like this, and it's a little bit different, but I like it. We're going to start with our middle finger on our E. As I said, we're focusing on E Dorian or D major, and I'm going to go like this. And that's how I think of that shape. It's kind of different. It's not always 3 notes per string. And I like this because E Dorian and of course our E minor pentatonic are so much the same with their note relation that I kind of like to end on a note right there within the pentatonic when I play like this, and then it can lead me into some phrases perhaps in the pentatonic scale. Let's talk about the shape in its rooted position here off of 12, and I'm going to play here with my index finger. So that's really, really fun and effective because we see right within the pentatonic scale how we have access to different notes that are outside the pentatonic. That's our whole thing. E minor pentatonic goes, but this Dorian scale is going to give me the option of having this F sharp here, which is fantastic. And I can get some of those good sounds with it. And as well as I'm going to get a C sharp when I play that E Dorian shape. So any of these really fun blues type phrases can be really brought to life with some color from the sounds of the scale shape itself. Before we get into the licks, I would like to take this one and maybe move it down to this first position and see how we can play that. That's also very, very important. So I'm going to have an open string, and then that's going to give me my F sharp and my G there. Lots of open strings in those right there, kind of visualizing it like this. And that's going to help me outline some of the shapes that I play there. So when I use these things to get outside the box, I use a very simple approach oftentimes where I slide into notes. And I like to slide into the notes. It's almost a grace note. And a really simple way to kind of get through some of these, and a really good way to get outside the box. Even within the pentatonic scale, I can grace some of those notes, and chances are I could be hitting some of those from that Dorian scale shape as well. So in this position where we had a scale that was shaped like this, starting from my 3rd string on the 6th fret, what I might do is slide from some of those outside positions, right? And really try to think of fun ways to just push the envelope a little bit against the track. Up here again in the E minor pentatonic position, against that jam track, I might think to do some of that so I don't just sound like standard pentatonic. Sliding. I think this right here is worth really knowing. Because that pattern can be played in that position, right? Same kind of idea, or even here in that lower octave. The one thing I should say is E Dorian is D major. So if I start from my E note here and I outline my major scale shape, I get another. And I'll stop on that E there. I like this one because, well, shoot, it's right in that middle of the pentatonic scale. And I'm going to get some of those nice sounds that are outside the box. Again, that can be achieved by some of that sliding technique that I sometimes think about when playing in this context. Now, when using E Dorian, let's say we want to do one other pentatonic shape. So what I think would be great is to try B minor over that. Now that is going to work fantastic because in the context of how E Dorian is played, it's going to lend itself really great because it's all the same notes. And right here in that position, if I take this scale, I can immediately apply a little bit of rhythm to my phrasing. So I think sliding really helps provide rhythm. Whenever you're stuck in a spot, rhythm will help you find a new phrase or a new lick to play. And this chord progression is so nice. It's ear candy. It's just a couple of chords you can play over to help develop this sense of rhythm using notes that are not in the pentatonic, E Dorian in this case. And we've got a couple of places to work it. So I'm going to play this out. I'm going to jam on this a little bit and show you a couple of more examples. Again, what we have is we have E Dorian working with our E minor pentatonic. For fun, we can throw a little bit of the B minor pentatonic in there as well. And we have some positions that are going to use multiple places on the neck that are not just the first position of your E minor pentatonic scale. So by using this Dorian scale, let's have some fun. I'm going to play this out, and I appreciate you for checking out this portion of the DVD.